Welcome to another Flexi Friday. This one is for if you've just got back from a run. These are the stretches that I do post-run to make sure that I keep my muscles fluid and moving and pain-free. So come and join me. You're going to need a stool or a chair as a little bit of effect just to do some hamstring stretches. See you soon. Just come back from your run, you're all sweaty. What's the first thing you're going to do is you are going to stretch. Why? Because right now your muscles are the most warmed and heated up that they are going to be, and we are going to make the most of that and also make sure that you're going to be able to walk tomorrow. So what you're going to need, you need to go grab a chair. I've got a kitchen stool here, which is I'm going to use just as a little bit of a prop. And first of all, we're going to start by using hip mobility after we've just come back. So what we're going to do, we're going to place our right leg up on the stool, facing towards the leg itself, towards the toes. My left leg is then facing away from me. So I've got this lovely kind of like, almost like angle, left angle, which is happening here. And what we're going to do is we're going to come down into a hamstring stretch in this position. So we're going to be adopting some breathing, coming down and into a hamstring stretch. If you need to just balance yourself, then just place your hands onto your knees. And we're going to breathe here. Well done on your run, by the way. So deep breaths. And one more. And what we're going to do here, keep the foot where it is. So it doesn't matter if your chair is a little bit lower down. That's not a problem at all. If you do have a kitchen stool and it's adjustable, just place it to where you're comfortable. And that should be fine for the stretch. You're going to feel it in the hamstrings anyway, and probably the calves. So we're going to now come into some hip mobility. So what we're going to do is the toes are currently pointing to the ceiling. What we're going to do is we're going to mobilise the hip forward so the toes are now pointing away from you. So coming down the left leg, and pointing the toes to the ceiling as we come back. And we've got this lovely hip rotation happening here. So I'm not going too slowly, I'm actually keeping it like at quite a steady pace, you know. And we're going to do 10 of these. Making sure you breathe. And last one. Now we're going to come back up, and I'm not going to point my toes to the ceiling. I'm going to keep them facing towards the camera. And you're going to feel just in this little section here, just around the hip joint, that lovely stretch on that right hand side. Point the toes towards the ceiling and slowly bring that knee towards you. We're going to do exactly the same on the left hand side. So I'm just going to place my stool towards the left hand side. Leg will go up. Oh, feels good, doesn't it? And we're going to come down into a hamstring stretch, feeling those muscles underneath the backs of the legs. They're probably having a bit of a complaint at you right now, but breathe into them. They've carried you through your run. And 2 more breaths. Last one. Well done. And again, we're going to come into some hip mobility on the left hand side. Now you may find that you think, goodness, it was easier on my left than it is on my right. Like, as long as you've got the feeling of the stretch, you're sometimes going to find that your body responds differently on the right hand side than the left hand side. It might be tighter, it might be looser. So we're going to come down the leg. That lovely rotation is going to happen in the hip. The toes are facing away from you now. And I'm kind of going to come back up into standing. So I've got this lovely smooth rotation happening. Nothing too like intense. Keeping it nice and easy breezy. You're probably going to feel in the right hand leg, as a bit of a bonus, a nice hamstring stretch as you come down, because you're keeping that leg nice and straight. Two more. And last one. And what happens on the last one? We come down, we keep the toes where they are, and we look towards the foot again, feeling around that joint area there, probably just a little bit of tightness, breathing into it. It's like a bit of a mid-air karate chop, this one. It's kind of cool. That's it, good, well done. Slowly bring the leg towards you. Now I'm just going to place my stool to the side because we no longer need that. What we're going to do now, we're going to do some more hamstring stretches because we, as I say, we do want to make sure that you're going to be able to walk and use your legs the day after your run. So we're going to place our left leg in front of our right, very short distance apart. We're going to bend that right knee, lift the left toes to the ceiling, keep the leg lovely and straight, and if you can, come down and actually touch the toes. If not, just like hanging here is really cool. You're still going to feel the stretch in the hamstring on the left hand side, and we're just going to spend a few moments here and breathe into it. Well done. And release and relax. And we're going to swap the legs over. Right leg goes out in front. The left knee will slightly bend. We'll send the right toes up towards the ceiling. It's as though you're kind of like going to sit down on a stool, but it's not actually there. Poking the bottom out. Hands towards the feet if you can. If not, just use the left knee as a bit of a platform for leaning on. And breathe. If you want to increase the stretches, you're able to come down like as far as you can. Some people can only come down to about here. That's fine. If you'd like to increase the stretch, just come down and touch in the toes. So the more that you squat down in that, for example, the more you're going to get that stretch in the hamstring. And slowly release. Slowly stand back up to the top. Well done. Now one of the other muscles that you're going to find, which is going to be quite tight during your run, are your calf muscles. Now what we're going to do, you can find a wall if you need to, because that will increase your stretch. So imagine that I have a wall here. I have a wall just there, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to place my left foot in front of my right, and I've actually got like a stride apart here. And I'm going to bend that left knee forward, and the key on a calf stretch is that your heel on the back foot has to be firmly cemented to the floor to actually feel the effect of that stretch. So I'm actively like pushing on that right heel, keeping it to the floor, and I'm bending forward on that left knee. Again, if you need a wall, you're able to actually use the wall to push away from. And we're going to send oxygen and breath into that calf muscle. And I can almost hear you go, ooh, that's tight. So deep breaths. And again. Well done. Swap the legs over. Right leg now comes out in front. Left leg now comes behind. Again, actively making sure that that left heel is remaining firmly cemented onto the floor. And we're going to lean forward on that right knee. Now you can do this stretch as what's called a developmental stretch. So you can come forward for about 8 to 10 seconds. You can release, and then you can increase the stretch just a little bit deeper, holding for about another 25 seconds. Again, if you're on a wall, you can adapt that position as well. I do love a good calf stretch though. One more breath. Well done. And what we're going to come into next are our quad stretches. Now we're going to do a standing quad stretch, which is going to be quite challenging for some of your balance. If you need a wall, feel free to hang on to it. However, try it without. Like, get a position on your wall or on your floor that doesn't move and concentrate on it. And here's the thing. For example, if I lift my right leg up, we're going to keep the knees together, and if I hold my left ear, somehow that keeps the balance. So we're going to keep the knees together, concentrate on a part on your wall, on your floor that doesn't move, and we're just going to use the pelvis and the hips just to push forward, and you're going to feel the increase on the stretch on the quad there. So deep breaths. Ooh. And again. One more time. We want to get that heel right up to the bottom. And slowly release. And we'll do exactly the same on the left hand side. Now you may feel that your balance is a little bit different again from left to right, but try and concentrate. Don't get frustrated with yourself, and see if you can hold that opposite ear, because for some reason, like, it does work, and I don't know whether it's because you're taking your mind off what you're doing. Who knows? So again, knees together, just using the hips that are facing forward. Just going to push the hips forward just slightly, and you'll increase the stretch on that quad, and we'll send oxygen and breath there. Bring the heel as far up to the bottom as you can. We're almost done, don't panic. You can have your fruit and your protein shake in a minute. This is the most important thing to do post-run. That's good, well done. And our last stretch is we are going to stretch out our glutes, and we are going to do a standing glute stretch. Again, requires every bit of balance, coordination and focus, and it does burn, I'm not gonna lie. So we're going to place the right foot over the left knee as we stand. Here goes. Right foot, so you can hold the foot over the left knee, and we're just going to squat down on that left knee. That's it. Oh, feeling that. Deep breaths. And swap over. So again, left foot over the right knee. We don't hold this one for too long, purely because I don't want you falling over and hurting yourself. So we'll take the left foot, cross it over the right knee. Again, you can hold the foot, you can balance yourself. We try that again. Balance yourself with your knee, and you're going to bend your right knee, coming down, feeling that in the glutes on the left hand side. One more. Well done. and return. Just one more stretch before you go is we're going to stretch out the upper torso. So when we run, sometimes we find, excuse me, that our energy gets trapped in our shoulders as we run. So we're just going to place the hands out in front of us, feet are going to be hip width apart, and just a slow rotation round to the left and round to the right. And again round to the left and round to the right. Well done. That's it for your post-run stretches. That's all the major muscle groups that have been covered. Go and grab some fruit, grab some protein shake, and well done for